Hey there, you amazing people. Picture this, a bustling airport, the clock ticking down, and a woman racing through the terminal, her heart pounding as she realizes she's about to miss the flight that could change her life. Her suitcase wheels are practically sparking, her breath is ragged, and the gate is so close yet so far. But then bam! Something, or rather someone, stops her dead in her tracks. And here's the kicker. That moment, that one unexpected encounter, becomes the reason she doesn't regret missing that flight. Sounds like something out of a Hollywood rom-com, right? Well, buckle up, because this story is real, raw, and packed with twists that'll leave you glued to your screen. You're probably wondering who this mystery guy is, what happened between them, and how one chance meeting could flip her world upside down. Don't worry, I've got you covered. I'm diving deep into this incredible tale, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this missed flight was the best thing that ever happened to her. So grab your popcorn, hit that subscribe button, and let's unravel this heart-pounding, life-changing story together. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second of it. You ever had one of those days where everything goes wrong? Maybe you spilled coffee on your favorite shirt, got stuck in traffic, or worse, missed something super important because life just wouldn't cooperate. That's exactly where our girl, let's call her Emma, is at. She's a 29-year-old dreamer from Chicago, with big plans and even bigger hustle. She's got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity waiting for her. A job interview in New York that could launch her career into the stratosphere. But the universe? It's got other plans. Her alarm doesn't go off, her Uber driver takes a shortcut that's anything but, and now she's sprinting through O'Hare Airport, dodging selfie-taking tourists and slow-walking families, with her carry-on banging against her shins. The boarding call for her flight is blaring over the speakers, and Emma's thinking, this is it. I'm done for. You can feel her panic, right? That gut-wrenching fear of missing out on something huge. We've all been there, sweating, stressing, praying for a miracle. But here's where it gets wild. Just when she's about to make it to the gate, a stranger steps into her path. Not just any stranger, but him. A guy who, in one fleeting moment, turns her chaotic day into something she never saw coming. Who is he? Why does he matter? And what's so special about this encounter that it makes missing her flight feel like fate? Stick with me, because I'm about to lay it all out, and I promise, it's the kind of story that'll have you texting your friends, you have to watch this. Now, let's talk about you for a second. Yeah, you watching this right now. You clicked on this video because you love a good story, don't you? One that pulls you in, makes you feel something, and maybe even reminds you of a time when life threw you a curveball that ended up being a blessing in disguise. Maybe it was a random conversation with a stranger, a missed opportunity that led to something better, or even a moment that made you believe in fate. That's what this story's all about, those unexpected twists that make you go, wow, life's kinda crazy, isn't it? Emma's story is going to hit you right in the feels because it's not just about her missing a flight. It's about what happens when you let go of the plan and let life surprise you. It's about connection, second chances, and the kind of magic that can spark in the most unlikely places, like a crowded airport terminal. I'm telling you, by the time we're done, you're going to be looking at your own missed flights in a whole new way. So, don't even think about clicking away. I'm talking to you, person who's already hovering over that back button. Stay with me, because this story's got layers, and I'm peeling them back one by one to reveal something truly unforgettable. Let's set the scene a bit more, because this isn't just about Emma and some random dude. The airport's a total zoo. Think crying babies, stressed-out business travelers, and the faint smell of overpriced coffee lingering in the air. Emma's not just running late. She's carrying the weight of her dreams on her shoulders. She's been grinding for years, saving every penny, working late nights to prove she's got what it takes to make it big. This interview in New York? It's her shot, her golden ticket, the kind of break most people only dream about. And now, with the gate in sight, she's so close she can practically taste the victory. But then, out of nowhere, this guy appears. He's not loud or flashy, but there's something about him. Maybe it's the way he carries himself, calm in the chaos, or the way his eyes lock with hers for just a split second. It's enough to make her falter, to make her forget, for one heartbeat, that she's about to lose everything she's worked for. You're probably thinking, come on, no one's that distracting. But oh, you're wrong. This isn't just a meet cute. It's the start of something way bigger, something that's going to make you question everything you thought you knew about timing, destiny, and the people who cross your path. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but let's just say this guy's got a story of his own, and it's about to intertwine with Emma's in ways neither of them could have predicted. Here's the thing. I know you're curious. You're sitting there, maybe sipping your coffee or scrolling on your phone, wondering how a missed flight could possibly be a good thing. You're thinking, okay, this sounds juicy, but where's it going? That's exactly why you need to keep watching. I'm not just telling you a story. I'm taking you on a journey. Emma's not some fictional character. She's real, relatable, and her experience is the kind of thing that could happen to any of us. Maybe not in an airport, maybe not with a stranger, but we've all had moments where life feels like it's falling apart, only to realize later it was falling into place. This video's going to unpack all of that, with every detail, every emotion, every twist that makes this story so dang addictive. Plus, I'm throwing in some exclusive insights you won't find anywhere else. Stuff I dug up just for you, my awesome viewers, because you deserve the full scoop. So, promise me you're sticking around, okay? Hit that like button if you're already hooked, and drop a comment telling me about a time you missed something big but it turned out okay. I'm reading every single one, and I want to hear your stories too. Now let's zoom in on that moment, the one where Emma's world shifts. She's mid-sprint, her mind laser-focused on the gate, when this guy steps right into her path. It's not like he's trying to ruin her day. He's just there like he was meant to be. Their eyes meet, and for a split second, the chaos of the airport fades away. It's not love at first sight or anything cheesy like that. Don't worry, I'm keeping this real. But there's a spark, a vibe, something that makes her pause just long enough for the gate agent to start closing up shop. Emma's heart sinks as she watches her flight slip away. But this stranger, this guy who's now standing there looking just as surprised as she is, says something. One sentence, a handful of words that changes everything. What did he say? Why does it hit her so hard? And how does this one tiny moment spiral into a chain of events that makes her thank her lucky stars she never got on that plane? I know you're dying to find out, and I'm not going to leave you hanging forever, but you've got to stay with me, because what happens next is the kind of cliffhanger that'll have you smashing that play button on part 2 faster than you can say, delayed flight. Right there in the chaos of O'Hare Airport, with the gate closing and her dreams slipping through her fingers, Emma stands frozen, staring at this stranger who just derailed her entire day with a single sentence. His words weren't loud or dramatic, but they hit her like a freight train. You're running so fast, you might miss what's right in front of you. It's cryptic, sure, but there's something in his voice, calm, knowing, maybe even a little playful, that makes her stop and actually listen. Her first instinct is to snap back, to tell him to mind his own business because she's got a flight to catch, but the gate agent's already waving the last passengers through, and the reality crashes over her like a wave. She's not getting on that plane. Her shot at the New York job, the one she's been prepping for months, is gone. Or is it? This guy, who's now casually slinging a worn leather backpack over his shoulder, doesn't seem fazed by the chaos around them. He's got this quiet confidence, like he knows something she doesn't, and it's driving her nuts. Who is he? Why did he say that? And why, instead of storming off in a huff, is she standing there, caught in this weird moment that feels like it's pulling her in a whole new direction? You're probably feeling that same itch I am, the one that's screaming for answers. Don't worry, we're diving deeper into this story, peeling back the layers of Emma's life, this mystery guy, and a twisty web of events that's about to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about missed opportunities. Let's rewind a bit to understand Emma, because she's not just some random woman sprinting through an airport. She's the kind of person who's always had a plan. Color-coded spreadsheets, vision boards, the works. Growing up in a small Chicago suburb, she was the kid who stayed up late studying while her friends were sneaking out to parties. Her parents, hardworking but always stretched thin, drilled into her that success comes from grit and focus. So she poured everything into her career, clawing her way up in a cutthroat marketing firm where she's been stuck in a cubicle, churning out ad campaigns for products she doesn't even like. This New York job, though? It's her ticket out. A creative director role at a startup that's blowing up on social media, the kind of gig that could put her name on the map. She's spent weeks perfecting her portfolio, practicing her pitch in the mirror, even buying a new blazer that cost half her rent. Missing this flight isn't just a logistical nightmare. It feels like the universe is laughing in her face. But here's where it gets interesting. As she's standing there, staring at the closed gate, something shifts. This stranger's words keep echoing in her head, and for the first time in forever, she wonders if her laser-focused plan might be blinding her to something bigger. You ever had that moment where you question everything? Where life throws you a curveball, and instead of dodging it, you start to wonder if it's trying to tell you something. That's where Emma's at, And it's about to get a whole lot messier. Now let's talk about this guy. Let's call him Nate, because he's not just a plot device in Emma's story. He's got his own baggage, figuratively and literally. Nate's in his early 30s, with a scruffy beard and eyes that look like they've seen a few too many late nights. He's not your typical airport wanderer. There's a story behind him, one that's starting to peek through the cracks. See, Nate's not at O'Hare by chance. He's there because he's running too, not from a flight, but from something else. Maybe it's a past he doesn't talk about, a decision he regrets, or a life he's trying to leave behind. When he saw Emma barreling through the terminal, something in her frantic energy caught his attention. Maybe it reminded him of himself, or maybe he just saw a chance to do something reckless. Whatever it is, his decision to step into her path wasn't random. That sentence he tossed out? It wasn't just a quirky one-liner. It was a spark, a challenge, a dare to see if she'd bite. And she did. As they stand there, the airport buzzing around them, Nate's watching her, waiting to see what she'll do next. Will she brush him off and chase after the next flight? Or will she take the bait and step into whatever this moment is offering? You're probably wondering what Nate's deal is. Why he's so cryptic, what he's hiding. Trust me, his story's a puzzle, and we're only just starting to piece it together. Here's where the plot thickens, because this isn't just about Emma and Nate. There's another layer bubbling under the surface, and it's tied to Emma's best friend Lila, who's been blowing up her phone with texts all morning. Lila's the opposite of Emma, spontaneous, a little reckless, the kind of person who'd book a one-way ticket to Bali on a whim. She's been pushing Emma to loosen up, to stop obsessing over her 5-year plan and live a little. Lila's not at the airport, but her influence is all over this moment. See, just last night, over a bottle of cheap wine, Lila bet Emma that something unexpected would happen on this trip. Something that'd shake her out of her comfort zone. Emma laughed it off, but now, standing there with Nate, she's starting to wonder if Lila's onto something. Is this stranger part of some cosmic setup? Or is Emma just grasping at straws, trying to make sense of a bad day? Lila's texts, which Emma's been ignoring in her panic, are starting to pile up, and one of them catches her eye. Don't freak out, but I did something to help you. What does that mean? Did Lila mess with her plans somehow? Is there more to this missed flight than bad luck? The questions are stacking up, and the suspense is killing me. Just like it's probably killing you. Keep watching, because this subplot's about to add a whole new twist to the mix. Let's zoom out for a second and paint the bigger picture. Because this story's not just about one missed flight or one cryptic stranger. It's about timing, choices, and the way life has a funny way of redirecting you when you least expect it. Emma's always believed she could control her future. Work hard, stay focused, and everything falls into place. But now, with her carefully laid plans in shambles, she's facing a choice. Chase after the next flight, beg for a reschedule, and keep pushing forward, or lean into this weird electric moment with Nate and see where it leads. It's the kind of decision that could change everything, and she knows it. Meanwhile, Nate's got his own choices to make. Whatever he's running from, it's catching up, and his encounter with Emma is stirring up feelings he's tried to bury. There's a tension between them, not just romantic, but something deeper. A shared sense of being at a crossroads. The airport, with its constant hum of arrivals and departures, feels like a metaphor for their lives. Always moving, always choosing, never quite sure if you're heading in the right direction. You can feel that tension, right? That pull between sticking to the script and throwing it out the window? It's what makes this story so addictive, and it's why you're still here, waiting to see what happens next. As Emma and Nate stand there, the airport's starting to feel less like a battleground and more like a stage for something bigger. The crowd's thinning out, the gates empty, and the reality of her situation is sinking in. She could walk away, book another flight, and pretend this never happened. But Nate's still there, not pushing, not leaving, just watching her with that half-smile that's equal parts infuriating and intriguing. He says something else, something quiet, almost under his breath. Sometimes the best journeys start with a wrong turn. It's not a line from a rom-com. It's real, raw, and it hits Emma in a way she didn't expect. Her phone buzzes again. Another text from Lila, probably, or maybe something else entirely. She doesn't check it. Instead, she looks at Nate, really looks at him, and feels a spark of something she hasn't felt in years. Curiosity. Not just about him, but about what might happen if she stops running for just 1 second. What's Lila's help all about? What's Nate running from? And why does this moment, this random collision in a crowded airport, feel like it's about to rewrite her entire story. You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Good, because right as Emma's about to make her choice, something happens that flips the script entirely, and you're not going to believe what it is. The air in O'Hare Airport feels thicker now, charged with the weight of Emma's indecision as she stands there, locked in this strange unspoken standoff with Nate. His words, "Sometimes the best journeys start with a wrong turn," hang between them, daring her to take a leap she's not sure she's ready for. Her phone buzzes again, Lila's name flashing on the screen, but before she can even think about answering, a sharp voice cuts through the terminal's hum. "Emma? Emma Carter." She spins around, her heart lurching, to see a woman in a crisp blazer, clipboard in hand, striding toward her with purpose. This isn't a gate agent or a random traveler. It's someone who knows her name, and the look on her face says this isn't a casual encounter. Emma's mind races. How does this woman know her? Is this about the flight? The job? Something else entirely? Nate steps back, his expression shifting from playful to guarded, like he senses trouble brewing. The woman stops in front of Emma, her eyes flicking to Nate before locking onto her. "We need to talk. Now," she says, her tone leaving no room for argument. And just like that, the spark of curiosity Emma felt moments ago is drowned out by a tidal wave of dread. This isn't just a missed flight anymore. It's something bigger, something that's about to turn her world upside down. You're probably screaming at your screen right now, wondering who this woman is and what she wants. Hold tight, because this twist is about to send Emma's story spiraling into uncharted territory, and I'm unpacking every jaw-dropping detail for you. Let's back up just a second to make sense of this bombshell, because Emma's no stranger to pressure, but this feels different. Her whole life, she's been the one in control, planning every move, anticipating every obstacle. But now, standing in the middle of this chaotic airport with Nate watching her and this mysterious woman bearing down, she's got no playbook to follow. The woman introduces herself as Claire, a name that means nothing to Emma, but there's an edge to her demeanor that screams authority. Claire's not here to chat about flight delays. She's got an agenda, and it's tied to something Emma's been completely oblivious to. "You were supposed to be on that flight," Claire says, her voice low but firm. "And it's a good thing you weren't." Emma's stomach drops. What does that mean? Was the flight in danger? Did something happen? Her mind flashes to worst-case scenarios, mechanical failures, security threats, but Claire's next words throw her for an even bigger loop. "There's something you need to know about that job in New York." Emma's dream job, the one she's been obsessing over for months, suddenly feels like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. Is the job a sham? Is someone playing her? And how does Claire, this random woman, know so much about her life? You can feel the stakes climbing, right? That sinking feeling that everything Emma thought she knew is about to unravel. Stick with me, because this is where the story takes a turn you won't see coming. Meanwhile, Nate's not just standing there like a bystander. He's watching Claire with an intensity that makes Emma's skin prickle. It's subtle, but there's a flicker in his eyes. Recognition, maybe, or something deeper. Does he know Claire? Is he part of whatever this is? Emma's starting to wonder if their chance encounter was really chance at all. Nate's cryptic comments, his calm in the storm vibe, his decision to step into her path. It's all adding up to something, but she can't quite connect the dots. And here's where the subplot with Lila kicks into high gear. Emma finally glances at her phone, and Lila's latest text is a gut punch. "I didn't tell you everything about the job. Call me ASAP." Lila's always been a wild card, but this feels like more than her usual impulsiveness. Did Lila know something about the New York gig and keep it from her? Was her help somehow tied to Claire showing up? The questions are piling up faster than Emma can process, and the airport, once just a backdrop to her panic, now feels like a pressure cooker ready to explode. You ever been in a moment where you realize the people you trust might be holding back secrets? That's where Emma's at, and it's tearing her apart. You're probably itching to know what Lila's hiding and how it connects to Claire, and I promise we're getting there, but not before one more curveball. Here's the twist that changes everything. Claire doesn't just know about Emma's job. She drops a bombshell that makes Emma's knees buckle. "The company you're interviewing with, it's not what you think," Claire says, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "They're involved in something questionable, and you were about to walk right into it." Questionable? What does that even mean? Fraud? Something illegal? Emma's mind is spinning, but before she can fire off a single question, Claire's phone buzzes, and her face tightens. "We can't talk here," she says, glancing around like she's expecting someone to be watching. Come with me. Emma's frozen, torn between following this stranger who seems to know too much and staying with Nate, who's now looking at her with an expression she can't read. Is Claire legit, or is this some kind of setup? And why does Nate seem so uneasy? The tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife, and Emma's got seconds to decide. Trust Claire and dive headfirst into whatever this is, or stick with Nate and figure out his role in this mess. The stakes couldn't be higher. Her career, her future, maybe even her safety are on the line. You're probably yelling, "What's going on?" And I don't blame you. This story's turning into a roller coaster, and we're not even at the peak yet. Let's not forget the bigger picture, because this isn't just about Emma's missed flight or even the shady job. It's about trust, instinct, and the way life forces you to make impossible choices when you're least prepared. Emma's always relied on her gut, but now it's pulling her in two directions. Toward Claire, who's offering answers but raising red flags, and toward Nate, who's a walking question mark but feels oddly safe. The airport's still buzzing, announcements blaring, travelers rushing past. But for Emma, it's like the world's narrowed to this one moment. Lila's texts are burning a hole in her pocket, and the thought that her best friend might have known something all along is eating at her. Then there's Nate, whose silence is starting to feel less like confidence and more like he's holding back a secret that could change everything. Is he a friend, a foe, or something else entirely? And what about the job, the one she's been dreaming of, the one that's now tangled up in Claire's cryptic warnings? Every choice Emma makes from here on out is a step into the unknown, and the suspense is killing me just as much as it's killing you. You're hooked, aren't you? You want to know what Claire's hiding, what Lila did, and whether Nate's the hero or the villain in this story. As Emma hesitates, Claire's impatience grows, her foot tapping like she's running out of time. Nate finally speaks, his voice low but steady. Whatever you decide, just don't trust anyone blindly. It's not much, but it's enough to make Emma's heart race. Is he warning her about Claire? About himself? Before she can ask, Claire grabs her arm, not forcefully but with enough urgency to make it clear she's not messing around. We're leaving. Now. Emma's eyes dart to Nate, searching for a sign, a clue, anything to tell her what to do. But his face is unreadable, and for the first time, she notices a scar above his eyebrow, faint but jagged, like it's got a story of its own. The airport's fluorescent lights seem to flicker, or maybe it's just her nerves, but in that split second, something shifts. A loud crash echoes from the other end of the terminal. Glass shattering, people shouting, and Claire's grip tightens. That's not a coincidence, she whispers, her voice barely audible. What's happening? Is someone after them? Did Emma stumble into something way bigger than a missed flight? The chaos is closing in, and Emma's got no time to think. Just a choice to make that could change her life forever, and a secret that's about to blow this story wide open. The crash in the terminal, a shattering of glass and a chorus of startled shouts, sends a jolt through Emma as Claire's grip on her arm tightens, her whispered warning about it not being a coincidence ringing in her ears. The airport, already a pressure cooker of noise and motion, feels like it's closing in, and Emma's heart is pounding so hard she can barely think. Nate's words, "Don't trust anyone blindly," echo in her mind, his scarred eyebrow and unreadable expression burning into her memory as she glances at him one last time. Claire's pulling her toward a quieter corner of the terminal, away from the chaos, but Emma's feet feel rooted to the spot. This is it, the moment where everything collides. Her missed flight, the cryptic stranger, Lila's mysterious texts, and now this woman who seems to know too much about a job that's starting to feel like a trap. The stakes are sky high, and Emma's got to decide who to trust, what to believe, and whether to run toward answers or away from danger. You're probably on the edge of your seat, just like I was when I first pieced this story together, wondering how Emma's going to get out of this mess and what that crash means for her future. Stick with me, because we're barreling toward a climax that'll tie up every loose end, deliver a jaw-dropping twist, and leave you thinking about this story long after the video ends. Emma yanks her arm free from Claire's grasp, her voice shaking but firm as she demands, "Who are you and what's going on?" Claire's eyes dart toward the commotion, a spilled coffee cart, it turns out, not a bomb or a chase scene, but it's enough to rattle everyone nearby. She takes a breath, clearly weighing how much to reveal, then leans in close. "I'm with a firm that investigates corporate fraud," she says, her voice low. "The company you were interviewing with in New York, they're under scrutiny for laundering money through their startup facade. If you'd gotten on that flight, you'd have walked into a federal sting operation, maybe even gotten tangled up as a suspect." Emma's world tilts. Her dream job, the one she's poured her heart into, is a front? Her mind flashes to the polished emails, the sleek website, the promises of a corner office. It all seemed so real. But Claire's not done. Someone tipped us off about you, she says, her eyes narrowing. Someone who knew you'd be on that flight. Emma's stomach lurches as she pulls out her phone, Lila's text staring back at her. Lila's help, her cryptic warning about the job. It's starting to make sense, but it's also tearing Emma apart. Did her best friend set her up to miss the flight? Was Lila protecting her or betraying her? And where does Nate fit into this? He's still there, lingering just out of earshot, his presence both comforting and unnerving. The climax is here, and Emma's about to uncover the truth that's been hiding in plain sight. Emma's had enough of half-answers. She turns to Nate, her voice cutting through the terminal's din. You know something, don't you? Why are you here? Why me? Nate hesitates, his jaw tightening, but the weight of her stare pulls the truth out of him. I'm not who you think, he says, his voice steady but heavy. I used to work for that company. I was their fixer, cleaning up messes, keeping secrets. But I got out when I realized how deep the corruption went. He steps closer, his eyes locking with hers. I saw you running, and I recognized your name from the employee files they sent over. I couldn't let you walk into that trap. Emma's breath catches. Nate wasn't a random stranger. He was a whistleblower, someone who'd been watching the company implode from the inside. His cryptic comments, his calm in the chaos, it wasn't fate. It was guilt, maybe even redemption. But there's more. Nate pulls out a folded piece of paper from his backpack, handing it to her. It's a printed email, dated last night, from Lila to Nate. She reached out to me, he says. She'd been digging into the company, found my name on a forum for ex-employees. She asked me to stop you. Lila's help wasn't a betrayal. It was a desperate move to save Emma from a career-ending mistake. The pieces are falling into place, but the weight of it all, Lila's secrecy, Nate's past, the company's lies, is almost too much to bear. The resolution starts to take shape as Emma processes the truth. She's not going to New York. The job, the dream, the plan. It's all gone, but for the first time, she feels a strange sense of relief. Claire, sensing the shift, softens her tone. You're lucky, she says. Most people don't get a heads-up like this. You've got a clean slate now. Emma nods, but her mind's on Lila. She dials her friend, and Lila picks up on the first ring, her voice a mix of relief and guilt. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you everything, Lila says, explaining how she'd stumbled across a Reddit thread about the company's shady dealings and tracked down Nate through a burner email. I knew you wouldn't believe me without proof, and I couldn't let you go. Emma's anger melts into gratitude. She's been so focused on her plan that she forgot how fiercely Lila's always had her back. As for Nate, he's not sticking around. I've got my own messes to clean up, he says, offering a half-smile that's equal parts regret and hope. But you? You're going to be okay. He slips into the crowd, leaving Emma with the email, a reminder that sometimes the people who change your life are the ones you never see again. The airport's still buzzing, but for Emma, the chaos feels distant, like she's finally found solid ground. Here's the final twist, the one that'll leave you gasping. As Emma heads to the exit, ready to go home and rethink her future, she checks her email one last time. There's a new message, from a different company. One she applied to months ago and forgot about. It's an offer for a marketing role, not in New York but in Chicago, with a team that's small but legit, no shady vibes in sight. The start date? Next week. Emma laughs, a real, unguarded laugh, because after all this, missed flights, corporate conspiracies, and strangers with secrets, life's handing her a second chance she didn't even know she needed. You're probably feeling that rush right now, that mix of shock and satisfaction as the story comes full circle. Emma's journey isn't just about a missed flight. It's about trusting your instincts, leaning on the people who love you, and realizing that sometimes the universe knows better than your spreadsheet. The takeaway? Life's detours aren't always disasters. They're often the path to something better. So, what's your missed flight moment? Drop it in the comments. Hit that like button if this story blew your mind, and subscribe for more real-life tales that prove the truth is wilder than fiction. Emma's story ends here, but yours? It's just getting started.